Hi, in the recent times, Infosys founder Mr. Narayana Murthy has specified to the Indian youth that they have to work for 70 hours per week in order to compete with the emerging economies in the world. You all know very well that it has become a big debate in social media and all. According to Mr. Narayana Murthy, a particular individual or an employee has to work for 70 hours per week so that they can increase the productivity of the particular organizations and all. So, if at all a particular employee has to work for 70 hours per week, considering a typical employee where he will be working for 5 days a week, so he has to work for 14 hours per day. That will be the calculation, right? So, if a particular employee works for 14 hours per day, then he can increase the productivity. Yes, that is correct. If you increase the number of working hours, you can definitely increase the productivity. But the question is that this increase in the productivity is beneficial for whom? Is it beneficial for the organizations or is it beneficial for the particular individual or to the particular employee? If you consider, you can clearly understand that it is beneficial for the organizations itself. This is because if you consider a typical employee who is working in a particular organization, he will be billed to a particular project or he will be billed to a particular client. So based on the number of working hours, right? So number of hours he worked. So the organizations will be getting amount from the particular client. So now as the number of working hours has been increased, for example say right now you are working for 10 hours. So now again they are asking to work for 4 more hours. So based on those number of working hours, so the organizations will be receiving amount from the particular clients. So clearly it is a benefit for the organizations. Having said that, you may ask me, hey Kiran, it is also beneficial for the particular employees also, right? Because he is working more, he can gain more knowledge or he can learn something from the extra working hours he has worked, right? But in my opinion, so if at all you want to gain knowledge or if at all you want to have something, from the working hours and all, it should not be a burden on the particular employee or it should not be a hindrance on the particular employee. So it should be a continuous learning process. If he has to learn something, it should be a continuous learning process. So from out of the project outcomes, what are the difficulties he is facing out of the particular project, then step by step he has to learn. So this is the thing that the organization should understand. This is one thing. And even if you consider the productivity as well, is it real that if the number of working hours increases, the productivity also increases? For example, consider an employee, right, a typical employee where he is working on a particular task. If the task has to be completed in 3 hours, so he is completing in 10 hours or to the extended 14 hours, right? Or else another employee will be there where he will be completing the particular task in 1 hour itself. Where he has to complete in 3 hours, he will be completing in 1 hour itself. So that means what? The productivity. So this employee is giving, employee number 2, he is giving more productivity than employee number 1. So what you have to understand over here, based on their skill sets and based on their knowledge, right, the productivity depends, but not on the number of working hours, correct? This is another thing. And again, the most important thing, which is the health of the employee. So right now, if you are working for 10 hours, we are having so many health issues with whatever the stress we are facing and all. I do have so many friends where they are having some back pain and all, with this stressful environment, and even if they are working for 10 hours, 11 hours like that. And again, if you say that you have to work for 14 hours, who will take the responsibility for the health of the particular employee? Will the organizations will be taking the responsibility? Of course, they are providing the group health insurance policy and all, but it will not meet the requirements for the actual cost that we are having today, medical expenses that we are having today, right? Again, we have to take our own medical insurance policies and all. So, these are all the factors that the organizations have to consider. So, in my opinion, it is not the number of working hours that they have to increase, but they must ensure that that particular employee is having proper skill sets and the particular employee is having proper knowledge in the particular domain or the technology where he is working. So the employee should be definitely working on that. That is his responsibility as well. He has to take care that he will be having proper knowledge and skill set in the domain where he is working. But apart from that, the organizations should also provide some training on the particular technologies, right, where the employees will be adopting that particular technology and they will be using the technology and they will be implementing the technology in the particular project and all. For example, if a new technology that has to be used in the particular project, then the particular organization has to provide training, which is not happening in most of the organizations right now. So that they will be adopting the technology and they will be implementing the technology in their particular projects and all, that boosts the particular productivity automatically. And apart from that, the employees also receive some pat on their back from the organizations in terms of some monetary benefits or in terms of some incentives, so that automatically the interest boosts in the employees and that leads to the productivity as well. Or else, if an employee is not performing well, then they have to provide training from their seniors or a person who is working well in the particular project. Okay, so then they have to provide training to the particular employee who is not working well in the organization, so that he will be improvising and that also leads to the productivity as well. So these are all the steps that they have to implement, but not increasing the number of hours is sufficient. So this is my opinion and we will be meeting in another topic. Until then, have a great time. Bye bye.